Hey everyone, this is Fi, and this is going to be me watching ACP watch a video of me playtesting ACP's video game. So let's jump into that, shall we? This is a stream recording.
Okay.
This guy made a game called The Wedge, which I playtested a couple hours ago, which is pretty fun.
Oh wow, someone...
Hey everyone, this is Fi. I'm checking out The Wedge. This is a part of the Reddit Feedback Friday. Apparently an infinite runner with shooting. It says here, let's get my mouse off the screen there. Before your time runs out, running into obstacles or enemies.
It seems really quiet. I'm gonna turn it up.
Grab power-ups to help you survive and boost your score. Shouldn't be too quiet. I'm pretty particular about the volume levels. It used to be very loud. Maybe it's a little quiet for some people, I don't know.
So this is someone playing my game.
I actually changed my own capture levels so you can hear him a little more, hopefully.
Even with the shooting change, I still was able to get a score of over 250k on hard.
Let's crank that right up there.
So I've not played this before. This is my first time trying it out. Let's go ahead and...
This is cool to watch.
Go to the game page here. This is, in fact, in the browser. Let's get rid of the overlay. Shoot enemies, aim at large blocks with the mouse to automatically blast them.
I forgot that you can see my cursor on the screen here, so I'll move that out of the way.
Between the 3 lanes to avoid the lines. Pick up power-ups. Touch the blue crystals to power up. The game ends when the timer runs out. Alright. I guess we can try medium then. And click to play. It doesn't appear to be a full screen button anywhere, which is a little disappointing, but that's okay. Just kind of hide that top bar there. And this is a mouse game. I'm guessing it's all gonna go on right here. But let's give that a shot then. Let me check this recording real quick.
Cool, so I'm watching someone play my game.
I think that's all.
I'm watching someone watch someone play their game, which
So
is
I'm excited
me.
about this.
Oh, we got some 3D graphics. Okay. Oh, we just kind of... Wow, okay, this is extremely fast. Looks like we just... There's no button to click. We just kind of... Wow, there's some jerkiness going on here, though. Alright, it's extremely confusing. The teleport animation I don't like. I'll mention why in a moment.
Cool, he does not like the teleport animation.
Oh, that's my answer machine again. Sorry about that. So yeah, there's definitely some moments where the screen freezes for...
I think in just about every video I end up getting the answer machine on the recording.
I noticed sometimes, not for every game, but occasionally I get a game that's got a web build like this and it just has some issues for some reason. I don't know what the... looks like we got some
Cool,
odd
I'm
issues with
watching
the
your video.
I don't know what the nature is of these sorts of issues, but...
I'm streaming myself watching your video right now.
The screen up here, but I'm not really...
This is very strange. This is the first... I've made about 200 playtest videos so far, and this is the first time that anyone has actually streamed themselves watching my playtest video of their game. Or probably of any of my playtest videos.
Where you're kind of looking up right at the
Yep,
top to shoot.
that's exactly what the whole thing
down
is.
to dodge. So definitely divide your attention and where you move your eyes. But yeah, so far it seems like I can pretty much just kind of swirl the mouse around here. It seems to just kind of work. Ooh, holy moly.
He's moving really slowly.
Alright. Oh, I should get these blue things. Extra time, more danger, more points. Alright then. Interesting. I don't hear any audio. I might have turned it off accidentally, or maybe it's just turned off by default. But it's kind of hard to stop and change it now. I don't know if there's a pause button, if I can hit escape.
There is no pause button, sorry.
Work. I kind of don't want to take my hands off. Okay, I tried to escape, didn't work. Oh no, I hit something.
So there should be audio now, but he has it off.
So far we've been doing pretty good considering it's like... I think we
I did in fact turn it on eventually.
once or twice, and then once you start getting up to speed, I've been doing pretty good. I don't really get a sense of the difficulty increasing very much.
The difficulty
In fact,
increases very slowly.
It kind of feels so far like it's just been kind of static in the sense of how difficult it is. Maybe that's not true, I don't know. But we're just gonna keep going, I guess, until I die. Whoa! Suddenly a lot of dudes right there. Again, sorry about the audio, there's not getting any of the sound effects or music.
Yeah, the volume button in the corner shows where
that power up, but it was right where I couldn't really get at it. It does give the sense that it's maybe randomized, kind of procedural, the placement of things here.
this is randomized procedural in placement. You are correct.
Maybe means that the so-called level design isn't as interesting as it could be.
There is no level design.
On the
It
other
is
hand,
entirely random.
wow, that was very fast to get through all of a sudden. Oh, I thought I was going to get through that. Oh, wow. Well, that's a bit annoying. I mean, there are times when it's like, obviously I messed up, and then it's like, sometimes I thought I did it right, but apparently I didn't.
You need to move a little bit faster.
It's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, sometimes part of the problem was I was moving too fast.
It feels like, wow. It feels like you did it right, but you didn't. So I think that time I went too early and I just ran into the... Alright. So I suppose it did eventually get harder. It's mostly by the rate of which I was failing. So am I getting any audio out of this? I mean, they did mention... Maybe when I click play again, it'll make some audio. All right, but I just want to talk about the sort of teleporting movement for a second.
So he doesn't like the teleporting movement, which is perfectly acceptable.
I don't think it's a big deal. You kind of get used to it. Generally, that sort of thing I don't care for because it doesn't have any sense of motion about it. It has this kind of big burst effect, and then you just kind of appear in a different spot. So it doesn't give you a sense of motion, which I think is really important in most games. Because it's sort of like your eye and your brain kind of follow the object, the motion of the object. So when people do these teleport things, a lot of times it's very jarring in that, like, you're suddenly in a different place and your brain has to...
I will actually add this to my devlog right now.
It takes your brain to catch up, but it's just like a little bit extra
Cool.
work for your brain that you don't really
I'm just listening to myself.
in very intense games like this. That being said, in this particular game, I mean, it's not as bad. On the other hand, the idea that you move instantaneously does seem sort of like an important aspect to this because you do have to move so quickly. So it does kind of seem like that's, you know, by design, the idea that you're not pushing the button and waiting for your little ship thing to slide over however fast or slow it may go. It's basically instantaneous, so there's a bit of a benefit in that. What you could consider doing is, you know, keep the instantaneous aspect of it, but make like a little bit of a trail or something, showing, you know, little trail moving from where you were to where you ended up, rather than having this kind of burst effect that's a little distracting. Again, it's not a big deal, but in my opinion, that would be an improvement with the visual aspect.
So the trail, he wants the trail. That's that absolutely makes sense.
Just to give it
Woohoo!
a sense of movement. Sometimes people do this like sort of anime after image type thing where it shows like a little after image of where you were.
Right, the after image, that's exactly right.
Like, it's basically you're confusing the player intentionally by doing that. In the animes, it's cool because it's confusing the opponents with their after image thing or something.
Okay.
But if you're playing and you're doing it to the player, then that's kind of silly. So yeah, in any case, just babbling about this little detail here.
The details matter, man.
Medium, let's see if there's any... Oh, I heard...
Glad you appreciate it, dude.
Alright, now we got audio. Yeah, I don't like how you... Whoa.
I like how your camera auto zooms on your face. That's the
kind of disappear then
entertaining
reappear.
part of your channel.
And I think that there have been a couple of times where the teleporting aspect of it probably made me
So he likes continuous movement, which is fine.
Move a little faster than I anticipated. So like if I try and go back and forth across the thing, across the wall, I'm kind of talking, so not really playing very well. If I try and go like back and forth across the wall quickly, sometimes I might press the button too early because I'm sort of expecting it to take a moment to get for the ship thing to slide over. So I don't know if that made sense the way I tried to explain it, but all right, let's try this again. I'll actually kind of try this time. Talked about the idea of
I'm doing pretty good.
moving too fast before passing by the wall and running into the side of the wall. So it might be nice if it was a little more clear when the little auto shoot power up thing wore off.
Okay. And now it's...
I kind of wish I could speed up a little bit, like intentionally, at these areas where there's not really much in front of me. Might be interesting if you could like hold W for a moment to kind of speed up a little bit, and then when you let go, you slow down again or something.
Intentional speed up. That's a good idea. That's actually a really good idea.
It got a little visually confusing there.
I'm glad you like it, man.
Sometimes these block things kind of start to cover up some of the actual walls and stuff. If you get enough of them, so it's a little hard to decipher things for a moment there. As long as they're kind of staying in the background here and I'm killing it before it gets too close, then it's not a problem.
See, he's doing the scrolling thing, but it works fine if you just direct your mouse to the guys. It works better.
I was kind of doing a little bit of both, honestly.
I guess there's the bar at the top that's showing the auto shoot thing. Holy moly. It all kind of jumbles together sometimes.
Yep.
Which is another kind of downside to the idea of having sort of a randomized level layout. You can't really control stuff like that very easily.
Nope, you cannot. Sometimes the numbers are against you.
Holy moly. Yeah, once stuff starts getting down a little bit lower here, it suddenly gets a lot more difficult to actually kill those things and dodge at the same time, rather than just kind of...
He's doing pretty good, though.
Swirly thing up here with the mouse. Oops. I ran into that.
I was actually kind of surprised at how much I didn't run into the walls while playing this. It kind of felt like I was going to a lot more, but I just barely made it out of the way.
The dodging and shooting. I don't really have any perception
kind of a cool thing.
how close I am to failure, basically, in terms of the time. I don't know what that sound was. Oh, jeez. So you can do you can do very fast maneuvers. Shield up. So I don't really know what this... I noticed there's a bar on the left, but I can't really look at it, you know what I mean? Oh, gosh. I suspect the shield might allow you to, like, absorb one of the... running into something, which is probably what that sound has been.
That is correct. You got it right.
Might be nice if there's some kind of indication of your shield, is there?
Nope, he bounced back too fast.
I think
Yes.
I keep doing that.
So I think based on watching this play...
Mistake, where I kind of run sideways into a wall. Because it's...
Yeah, so I think I might change it so that you
part of
can...
the problem of looking way up here all the time when you can't look down. Oh, that wasn't a good idea to take my mouse away from the top. Holy moly, suddenly there's all these dudes. But yeah, part of the problem of having to look up here all the time and not really being able to look directly down at your ship very easily is that...
That's the game, is that you need to split your focus, and that's the...
It's a little difficult to judge, like, when you're past something, and so you
Yep.
can safely kind of sneak by it.
But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and change that.
Walls.
That makes sense. Then I'll just rebalance
Sometimes
the
I'm
amount of
kinda
obstacles
getting
for
it
that.
okay, but I can't really look directly at myself. So it's pretty tough. Okay. So game over. It is kind of interesting the way it's sort of time based. I guess you run out of time again. I didn't really figure out what's indicating kind of how much time I have left, or whatever, how close I am to game over. But kind of get the sense that you could just as readily. Well, I would say with the current design, you could just as readily make it sort of like a hit points sort of thing.
Yep, he's right. Hit points.
To that effect, where you die by running into stuff, rather than you die by running into stuff, which in turn makes your time go down, which in turn makes you die. You know, it's sort of like indirect, but it's almost unnecessarily so, which kind of almost feels wrong when you do game over, because it's like you're just moving forward, and then you just die all of a sudden because you ran out of time, that sort of thing. Whereas if you had hit points, then you would game over after running into something. It would just kind of feel intuitive in that way.
Okay, that makes
said,
sense.
I think if you were to, for example, play with the idea of being able to move faster, kind of the suggestion I made, where you can maybe hold W at certain parts to move up a little faster, that sort of thing, might kind of necessitate the more time-based gameplay. So
He's not trying it on hard.
No, I never tried it on hard. It felt fine on medium.
One guy that just goes off. I don't think they're really supposed to go off.
They're not supposed to go off. It's my awful wander algorithm.
Usually, but sometimes one of them gets out, so I don't know if that's a bug or something.
It's a bug, but it's not a game-breaking bug. So
it's almost always when I run into one, it's because I do that.
No, it's just kind of silly.
Me. See,
but yeah, I think the time aspect would kind of make sense if you added
make a point,
like the speed.
You can probably see what I'm doing.
Type of thing where you can control your speed a little bit, because that actually gives you an incentive to actually go faster
into it,
rather than just survive. So
it seems like probably 90% of the time when I run into something, that's why.
Yep. So I should change it so that it See, that was a skillful set of dodges.
I'm not sure how, but that would make me think that maybe it's worth considering trying to do something to make it harder to mess up in that particular way, if that's like the one way that people are always messing up. That's certainly the way that I'm always messing up, it seems like.
No, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to end up making stuff.
Maybe there's some kind of little cheat way you can kind of make that a little more forgiving or something. It's really not obvious to me what that would be exactly.
Well, the obvious way is that
hitboxes and stuff.
There
might be some way that you could.
I take the player's collider, and
maybe
I move
you
it.
Can make it so that if you.
I make the collider
if you move
thinner.
On a wall from the side rather than from the front, that it wouldn't damage you or something.
So there's a trick to it, and the trick is that.
Again, it kind of seems like a cheat way of doing it, but it might make for a more entertaining game. You know, people.
Whoa. Well, that was unexpected. I guess we'll try and get that back. Resource format not supported error. That's kind of weird. Want to hear what he said. Might have to just reload. Is that gonna work for us? It's still recording, right?
I'm streaming.
Right, where were we? We were like 20 something.
Okay.
Oh no.
I think in this case it almost kind of works reasonably well. Oh, but yeah, sometimes when stuff gets closer,
nope,
the mouse, because they all kind of get in the way, and I think that's the part that I had to.
Couple minutes further.
And do you have any questions for me or anything?
Oh no, I was already. Goodness sake, okay, we'll find it.
The things that you have to shoot. It gets harder for you to move your mouse down here to get everything that you need to.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to avoid enemies covering the walls.
Like generally, this idea where I can just kind of sweep the mouse around like this, kind of willy-nilly, and it just kind of works, I would consider kind of not a good thing, but it gets hairy like that.
All right, we'll find it.
Player model, and what that means is only the very front of the ship can whack into things.
All right, so the very front, he's talking about moving the
But it
the
might
hit
make for a more
collision.
entertaining game. You know, people might.
Oh, there's something wrong with it right there. 18. The heck? That's very strange.
I make the collider
If you move on
thinner.
a wall from the
Yeah.
side rather than from the front, that it wouldn't damage you or something.
So there's a trick to it, and the trick is that
Again, it kind of seems like a cheat way of doing it.
He keeps waiting for me to finish talking so it doesn't miss anything.
People might never
Oh.
notice.
so I make the collider thinner, and then I move it forward on your.
Respectable way to do things.
I move it forward on the player,
Yeah.
and what that does on the player model.
Oh, right,
What
I
that
get
means is
it.
only the very front of the
Yeah,
ship can
two
whack
more
into
things.
things.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're past the very front of the ship, then even if the ship moves into it, then
The actual shooting aspect of it is kind of interesting. It's almost. I don't know. I mean, it certainly
It does make sense for sure.
makes sense that you don't have to click the button because that would be ridiculous. But
I wonder if he's noticing
it's
that he's
interesting. I guess it
almost
works.
always getting hit in more danger.
Silly enough that when it gets hairy like that, there's a certain.
Maybe you could add
areas
add a
that
bonus for waiting until the last
able to
second to
process
dodge
my
something
mind
like
there, I
burnout or something.
Nice. You get the noticeable speed up at the 40.
Like generally, this idea where I can just kind of sweep the mouse around like this, kind of willy nilly, and it just kind of works, I would consider kind of not a good thing, but I think in this case it almost kind of works reasonably well. Oh, but yeah, sometimes when stuff gets closer, it starts covering up the walls and stuff, and it's hard to kind of see everything that you need to.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to avoid enemies covering
So it
the
is a
walls.
little willy-nilly, the whole shooting aspect of the game, the mechanics of the shooting, but oh, I think I lost track of where I was, what lane I was in. Yeah, see, this is kind of, I can't, it's, the teleporting isn't really helping at this point, but yeah, it's like, I feel like it's
You did
almost
better,
getting more
though.
exciting, except that I can't really get a grasp of it. Another part of
Takes practice, man.
what's going on here is that once stuff starts getting further down, the things that you have to shoot, it gets harder for you to move your mouse down here to get everything. So it's a little hard to keep track of where your mouse actually is. See, this is getting exciting, but at the same time, it could be kind of unfortunate if like the fun part of the game is the part that you can't actually play because it's too hard to. Ooh, oops. Yeah, it's getting pretty tough.
You did good though. You broke 100,000.
There's a lot crammed into a little area.
Woohoo.
Pretty much.
Wow.
It's yeah, it's just unfortunate. It gets really hard to shoot all the things
Avoid
once it starts
enemies.
getting that hard. Which is kind of too bad because I did feel like it was getting more fun because it was more. Everything was getting kind of tighter and dodging between things, but like you can't really dodge things without also killing all the things with the mouse because they all kind of get in the way, and I think that's the part that I had the most trouble with towards the end is getting all the things with the mouse and then
There's definitely two aspects to the game. I
ruining
mean,
the
that's
good
obvious
times
to
there,
say,
really.
but
interesting.
if you think you're really good at dodging, but you're not also good at getting the
That's
enemies with the mouse, then the dodging
It's a
isn't going to
really cool
save you.
concept. It definitely had a bit of fun in there. It's really interesting. I'd like to have a full screen mode, obviously.
Full
But
screen mode.
Yeah, full screen's always good.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it could be made better with some small tweaks here and there. I don't really know. I mean, maybe you could make the little reticle a little more visible at least.
Better crosshair is on the
I do
list.
kind of wish there was a way to make the shooting aspect of it a little more
I think I might have to maybe add an outline to the crosshair.
easier to pull off, I guess.
Yeah, it was just kind of
when it gets
thin
really
and
hairy.
small, I'd say. You don't want it to like cover up stuff, but you also want to see it easily.
Exactly how you might do that. Nevertheless, as it is, it's pretty cool. I would keep playing it a bit, I think, if I wasn't recording a video. So definitely interesting. Hopefully you got some useful feedback out of this. And if you have any questions for me or anything, definitely let me know. In the meantime, I will see you guys in the next video.
Cool.
Woohoo.
All right. Well, I don't actually have a YouTube account to subscribe, but I would. So thank you very much for the video review and the playtesting. And I made many notes. Full screen mode.
That's awesome.
Better cursor. More.
I always love it when people like actually get stuff out of my videos and they're not just like the polite thank you.
Crosshair.
Well, sweet. This was interesting. Yeah, sometimes I just get a thank you from people, and sometimes I get like a wall of text
Okay.
of like
Good.
a
All right.
response.
Well, now I will test other people's games.
It's cool either way, but
let's
this is the first time I ever got a video, so I'm
some
glad.
comments for me.
Yeah, you got some comments, Phil. You can check that out if you want. And if you're watching this video for some reason, I don't know why you would be, because I did not actually make this for anyone to watch it. So we're gonna finish this up. That was cool, and yeah, I actually kind of want to try that game again in the future, especially since it sounds like he's got some good ideas. I think especially the one about changing the collision is going to be the real kicker. That probably make the whole thing a lot more exciting. So that'll be cool to see for sure. All right, see you later.